Hey there, this is Skoguri with MyCustomController, and today I want to show you how to make your very own patriotic themed Xbox 360 controller. We're going to be using the patriotic paint mask found in our web store, and it's a wavy American flag, as you can see here, and then we have three different sayings that you can put on there: United We Stand, Support Our Troops, or United States. And I promise that if you use this and you do what I'm about to show you, you're going to have one of the awesomest controllers around, and everyone's going to ask you how you did it, and you can say you did it yourself. So let me show you a few shortcuts that I like to use that'll make this a lot easier and simple for you. The first one is the tubing kit that we sell on our website. This allows you to insert into the guide button the A, X, B, and Y, and that will prevent paint from getting into the holes, and they're reusable. As you can see, I've reused those. The next thing, this is really important, is that you need a good hobby knife so that you can work with a paint mask. You're going to be picking up little stars with this one, and you want to make sure you have something like a hobby knife, also available in our store. Last but not least is the tweezers. These things are small, and I like to move things around with tweezers while I'm working on a controller. So I use a hobby knife and tweezers, and these are also available in our store. And finally, let's talk about the paint we're going to be using. We're going to be using the Duplicolor vinyl fabric spray in white as our base coat. We're going to coat the controller with it, and this has adhesion promoter built into it, which will help your controller grab the paint. Second thing we're going to use is the Duplicolor Auto Spray Red. This is the Radiant Fire color, Radiant Fire. And the last is the blue, which is the Medium Quasar. And these three paint colors are going to be our colors that we're going to use to paint this controller. Then we're going to put a clear on afterwards. So I've already actually base coated the controller in white vinyl fabric spray, so we don't have to do that. But if you need to know how to do that, just watch one of our other videos about how to prep a controller. Just spray it on there, and this is a good starting point for us. And so now what I'm going to do is going to take this new paint mask, and this one hasn't been used yet, and I'm going to start laying out all the pieces of white that I'm going to want on this controller. And so in order for us to do that, I'm going to get adjusted here. I'm sorry. Let me move the paint. And here we go. So as you can see on the mask, there's some rounded edges holding together the stripes, and the rounded edges are the red. So you don't want to use those because we're going to be starting with white. So we want to use our white pieces right here. Yeah, the pieces in the middle here. And so the hobby knife's important, so we can cut through that. It's actually already cut on the mask, but I'm going to cut this one here. And then cut right over here. And pull off my first piece of white. And there we go, so it peels right off. And now we're going to place this right on here. There we go. Let me get this cup out of my way. And I'm going to... Now remember, this is a wavy US flag, so we're not looking for straight lines. I'm looking to create some definition and some contrast in where the lines are. And so when you're doing that, make sure you cut right down the middle, fold these over, make sure you have this edge nice and sealed. The last thing that you're going to want to do before you paint is you're going to want to go along and make sure that all the edges are covered perfectly. And then let me cut this one off here. Second white line. And we're going to want to try and keep the waves together. This is a little tough, but just kind of eyeball it. When you put this on, it comes off. It's removable. Oh, there we go. See? I'm going to try it right here. Yeah, this is okay. I'm not loving it. Let me just move it just a hair. And yeah, you want to make sure that you see this contour right here together, because that's going to have an effect on the outcome and the look of the controller at the end. And then I'm just going to push this down here. And then I have this tight spot, so I'm going to cut it, fold the edges over. Just kind of go over everything with my thumb to make sure everything's down tight. And you'll just want to make sure you do that also. There we go. And here's my third line. Now this one, I'm telling you right now, this one's going to be your hard one for you because we're dealing with all the contours. Yeah, so your hardest part is going to be the D-pad. Getting up and over that. Keep that in mind as you're doing this. And I'm actually going to start over on the right here. Try and keep this flowing in the right pattern. The paint mask is very flexible and it's meant to be removed and put back on paint, so it's easy to apply and unapply. So you can get the perfect spot that you want. And I'm going to cut the D-pad spot, and then I'm going to try and line this up here. This is really hard because of the contour of the analog stick. Yeah, so I'm trying to fold this around without making it peel and go straight up. And you want to take your time. This takes a little massaging, and you want it to conform with the line still. And that's why I'm having a little problem here. So I'm going to bend it down. Then I'm going to put this on the D-pad, and you want to get your thumb in there nice. Make sure you have a good seal on that so you don't get any overspray. That's going to be your most common area for overspray. And this bubble right here, I'm going to try and cut it, but I'm actually seeing something here. I want to change this real quick, and then we're going to do that. I'm going to just line this up a little bit more perfect. This contour is kind of bubbling up right here, and you want to make sure that you don't see any bubbles in this if possible. There you go. I'm folding it over, and now I think I'm ready to cut it. Yeah, here we go, and I'm going to just slit right down this, and now you're going to push both pieces together. And voila, we've kind of created our own little custom paint mask here. And yeah, you want to push down these corners right before you paint, especially because we're going to want to make sure that spot is nice and pressed down. So that's really important because that's where the overspray is going to want to come, because the mask wants to come up. So we just need to make sure we work with that. Now over here on the D-pad, this one's tight and it's on a curve. This is a little tough, but it should work. There it goes, right around. Looking good. I like it. Okay, so these are the spots that we're typically going to get overspray on, so you want to make sure you go double check those. Looks really, really nice. And now the pattern that I'm using and you're going to use is this blue, and we can do this however we want, but we can apply whatever kind of pattern we want to do to the stars because they're small, and we can make it up and do it however you want. But I'm going to take off the next white piece to kind of define where the blue area is going to be, and I'm going to start with this fourth white piece so I have a bearing on where my blue is going to be. Let me cut it off here. There we go, because the stars should be really easy to apply anywhere because they're so small. And I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to keep it off the D-pad, and I'm guessing that I'm going to be this far over. And I'm moving it down just a little bit so I'm not fighting with the D-pad section. And then my contour is going to come over, and now I'm looking to see if this wave looks, and it doesn't look like it's quite working the way I want it to. So I got to figure out where I want to put this. Over to the right. All right, I think I know what I want to do. I'm going to get a little bit closer. And no, that's not going to work. I need to bring it over to the right some more. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I wanted the blue in a certain spot, but I'm going to move the blue over to the right. And there we go. That contour looks a lot better.